Yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
So without the real, so you see, someone just told them, oh, there's a deal here, but it wasn't thought through. The advice wasn't proper. Another issue we are looking to do is bridge the trust gap, especially with diaspora.
Yes.
Which is a big issue.
Yes.
So part of the services is, so someone tells you, okay, I've seen a nice land in
Yes.
Kitengela. So then we want to be able to do for you the due diligence. We want to work with lawyers. We do the due diligence. We want to work with, want to do the, and due diligence now, and I'm sure most of you know the issues with the lands office. It's not
Yes.
enough to get a traditional search, which you can now get online. The search can appear one way, but things on the ground are very different. So I think the diaspora appreciate even paying for those kind of services. The other thing is, yeah, if you're investing in property that is still being developed, is it actually how do I say, is this a trustworthy developer? Do they have history? How are you guarded in case they don't complete, so that you're not losing money? And yeah, just to avoid you also taking your money to the relatives and you'll never get the property.
We know that story.
Yes, that's a
And
common story.
they have sent you pictures of big houses, and when you come on ground, oh, we know that story.
Exactly. So we saw, yeah, there's a trust deficit issue, and so why not bridge that gap and at least
Yeah.
get back these remittances that is much needed back home.
Yes.
So we will be able even to get much more remittance if the people know that their investments are safe.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Rosalind. That's very insightful. That's a really interesting service that you're bringing to the market. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley.
Hi.
Hi, Stanley.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What about you?
Okay, I'm also in insurance industry as a business development, both in business development, and recently started my own agency. And my vision is to do insurance differently. For a very long time, we've done insurance same way. I mean, walk into a client, call a client, potential prospect, and all that.
Yes.
But myself and a partner who we are doing this with, we are thinking of doing, first of all, looking at what products don't we have in the market that are where we are now. We have not thought of people like the artists, the athletes, sports people, and thought around what kind of insurance would they need. Currently, some of the policies we have, when it comes to sports people, especially when it comes to sports people, you find that there's a lot of exclusions. Injuries while actively participating in those events in a lot of policies are not covered. Some sports like rugby or mainly contact sports, you find there's an exclusion. But if you look outside our market, if you look for partners, say in the UK, in Europe, in the US, you find that there are actually underwriters who offer this kind of covers. So the aim is to grow, to be able to partner with some of these underwriters and bring home some of these covers. You look at musicians out there, you actually find people insuring their vocals.
Yes, yes.
So you have people insuring parts of their bodies. Athletes, I mean, if you get a fracture, that might easily mean the end of your career. So there are actually people who are offering specialty covers for different professionals. So that's why we aim to look at and so that we can do this business differently and be able to offer people clients a wider range of options. So ideally, it is to grow products that are going to be attractive to to a new generation of business people and professionals, and also be able to obviously grow the business, grow the numbers.
Yes. Well, that's a very interesting, because I can see, Stanley, Rosalind, that you are all looking at different ways of doing business. What can you do differently in the market? You're reaching out far globally out there to see what is it that's missing within this particular industry, and what can we do to bridge that gap. So that's really innovative, I must say. I can see we have a number of people, so I think we'll not go how I wanted us to do, because we'll take the whole time, but maybe just we can introduce ourselves, let's say 1 minute. Pascal? Pascal?
Hello everyone, how are you?
Hello.
Apologies, I'm in a noisy place, but my name is Pascal Allo. I just learned
Yes.
about webinar today.
Yes.
I have a business called Pro Strategy Africa that offers training in the areas of digital transformation, which is something that a lot of organizations need at this day and age. So I'm here to understand basically how I can improve my business from a selling standpoint, how my brand can communicate to bigger audiences and make sense in a way that is able to get me business. That's about me.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. Who did I see here? Leah, maybe you could introduce yourself quickly, what you do. Okay, maybe she's having problems. Steve? Okay, I think in the interest of time, what we'll do, as I said, today we'll just have a conversation, because we're having issues at the back end, and we're not able to have our normal webinar where we have the conversation, where we have our lead trainer speaking to us about the topic. And our topic today was how to build a profitable sales process. So that was we are still not able to do that, and we had a number of people who had registered but are unable to join in. So let's look at what are the things that we struggle with in our sales as business people, as entrepreneurs. What are the things that you struggle with in sales? Where are you at with your sales? When you look at the sales process, yeah, your sales process, do you have one? Do you have a sales process? Does anyone here have a sales process? Maybe anyone who can answer? Do we understand what a sales, or Rosalind? Yeah.
Maybe I can go.
Okay, yes, Pascal.
My business is very young, probably a month or two old, and
okay.
We have mostly been working with clients who heard about our services and engaged us by a sort of referral process. So there's nothing on paper, but the sales cycle kind of starts with a very informal relationship with someone, going ahead to proposing your services, going ahead to now preparing documentation and forwarding it to them in the form of some sort of an estimate. And then once they engage, doing an invoice, doing the sale, and then follow-up services. That's what it looks like for me.
Okay. Rosalind, I saw you had unmuted.
Yes, we do have a sales process. I suppose now when you say like that, and after I think it was Pascal speaking, is it on paper? No, I believe it is. We take the people on onboarding, and they know this is how we do. This is how we do the sales process, and there's a follow-up in the sales meetings. So I suppose we have kinks. We have kinks in issues of, how do I say, issues of sometimes quality leads, so that you're not going through so many clients and they end up not converting.
Yeah.
I suppose also another kink we have is maybe a sales team that does not, I don't know if it's how we're doing things or just the generation we are onboarding, that people who do not go beyond understanding the industry. You can train so much about the product, but you need to be able to really have a wholesome look of the industry to be able to take clients successfully through some sales process in terms of converting some of the sales, especially like if you're looking at high capital investments. And then what else? Meeting targets. Yet I believe the bottom line. Yet I believe our targets are very realistic. So sometimes on the monthly targets, you're meeting them, sometimes not, sometimes you're thinking, so what's happening? And even in terms of, like I said, we're in real estate. So heavy reliance on the top management to bring in the properties, but the salespeople are very happy to go sell or let what we have brought in. But we see they're not going heavy on getting in the properties themselves. So we're like, that's not sustainable, because they must be able to get in properties themselves. And yet, if you do get in the properties and also sell or let, if you do the double, you get more commissions.
You get more commissions, okay.
Not sure why that resistance is there.
It's called following the path of least resistance. But Rosalind, I like what you've said. We've started with like when you look at the sales process, you see what you said, identifying quality leads. You know, you don't want to wade through so many people. How do you identify quality leads? I think that's where I'm going to start from. In fact, because first of all, not even identify quality leads. Do you even know the people who are your target market? Are you able to know who is this this is my target market? Because that's where your leads will come from. Maybe I can ask who can help, who can answer that. Mary?
Hello, sorry, kindly repeat the question.
I was saying, are we as a business, what to tell us, your name is, introduce yourself and what you do.
Okay, my name is Mary Njoki. I'm the founder of Sawi Global, and what it basically deals with is offering mental health services and support to caregivers, more so specifically in the healthcare industry. So currently we are dealing with nurses.
Oh, okay. So you provide a mental health support to healthcare to caregivers.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I was asking, who is your customer?
My customer is currently the nurses. So we narrowed it down to caregivers in the healthcare profession.
Okay. But is it any nurse, any nurse along the road, any nurse, or any nurse is your customer?
At the moment, I would say yes.
Okay.
A working nurse, not
a working nurse.
Let's say Now that will lead me to answer this broadly. So there's a working nurse, and then there's nurses in school, and then there's those in school doing internships. So all those are people that we target, and at different levels. Not any nurse walking on the road.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So can you describe, apart from just working, what else can you describe about your customer? I'll give a good example.
Yeah, probably just give me an example for me to see the direction in which you're going.
I'll give a good example. You know, many people say the business of food. I had a restaurant. So people would always say the business of food is very good. Why? Because everybody has to eat. Okay, true. Everybody has to eat, from the president to even the homeless person on the street. They have to eat. But will the president and the homeless person eat from the same place?
Nope.
Yes. I mean, that's the question. That's what I'm saying. Everybody actually has to eat. So when and a lot of people, when they hear your rest, you know, everybody has to eat. But you have to target, who is it that's eating my food and why are they eating? Will I open a restaurant in River Road, for example, and start selling prawns and seafood? Anybody can jump in.
Okay. No.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, yeah? Or will I go to Runda and open up a shack there and, you know, start selling githeri and my tea in my Babati cups? Okay, there's a place that I will do, but who will come to that place? Anyone? Or if I go online and it's Glovo, who do I expect to come to order food from Glovo? Anyone, just jump in. It's a conversation we are having.
Someone that owns a smartphone.
Thank you, Mary. Yes, someone who owns a smartphone is the person who will order from Glovo. So already, you see how you've already, I started narrowing down your customer.
Okay, I think I get your question.
You get my question, yes.
Yeah, so to just go further, I would say a nurse that owns a smartphone. I would literally just use the same words. A nurse that owns a smartphone, because the services that we're offering are digital, mainly digital. Yes.
Okay. Now you see now you've gotten someone they're mainly digital. So that now yes. So that already tells you the caliber of the nurse, and also that the amount of money they should be could be earning. That tells you the caliber. Someone who understands mental health, someone who understands the importance of mental health. Yes. So are you getting where I'm going?
Thank you. I get you. Yeah, thank you. That's something I could definitely pick up.
Okay. So you're getting, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. David.
Yes.
Yes. Are you able to identify who can you say your customer is? Give a description. Like just the way we broke down the global customer, the one on Glovo is someone with a smartphone. So most likely they are young and they are not a family, because there's no mother and father and children who's going to order on Glovo.
True. Yeah. I would say that for our insurance segment, we definitely have narrowed down to what would say as a typical customer profile. Okay, so I would say typically, just like you said, it's not everybody. So first of all, we have to put an income to it. It must be somebody who is either in a business or in employment, is earning at least a reasonable level of income. Probably I would put it at 100K.
Thank you. Don't say reasonable. Reasonable is a very subjective word. There's someone who's thinking 100K that's a millionaire that's like a million shillings. So that's subjective. Yeah, specific.
Yeah. So basically, I'm narrowing it to earning 100K.
Yeah.
Owns some level of property that can be insured.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the hallmarks of our customer profile.
Yes.
So I suppose we could go down the list, but those are the key elements. Income is key, and ownership of property comes second for me. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Great. Rosaline.
Yes, Brenda.
What about for your new product, your new service? I would like to know, have you looked at the profile of the customer? It is a very exciting product, by the way. I love it because you're working with somebody through and taking them along their lives in their different stages in life. At least that's what I saw. I understood from. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so our client really, I would say, using the Kenyan standard would be middle to upper end. And these are people who are, I wouldn't say, although we wouldn't even close out students, but we've not really looked at that segment. So I would say that is mostly the diaspora client. That is mostly anyone who is in the main diaspora areas. For now, we have narrowed down to UK, US, Australia, some European countries.
Yeah.
But these are people who have started working, not necessarily students. These are people who are able to actually send back investment back home. So I would say as well, in terms of like David, at least if you're earning an equivalent of about even the 100,000, even if you're leaving out there, and that might be someone who's really, really basically starting off in terms of they're just getting into the job market and they're maybe even working part-time, but we want to start you off on the journey of looking at investments. So yeah, but they do have a background of appreciating investments.
Yes. Now,
we did profile a few. We went through a session where we were profiling. This is someone ready to come. So there's categories. This is someone looking to come back home, retirement. This is someone who has decided to stay there. So we do have different categories there.
I get you. Yes, I get you. I have an uncle, a father-in-law. Okay, he's like my father-in-law's cousin. He's 75 and he's still there in the States. Yeah. And I know a couple of people who already, set up investments, like built hostels next to universities, and they're still there, or also setting up retirement homes to come back to. Yeah, so they're all at different stages. Now, what's the importance of identifying who your customer is? Mary, or who's there? Haven't talked to Lumumba. Victor.
If I could chip in, I would say that without a
Victor, I'll come
profile,
to you. Yes.
without a profile of your customer, then you're literally walking in the dark. With a very clear, specific customer profile, then you know who you're targeting. You can now target them with whatever forms of advertising or lead generation to reach them. But if you don't have a profile, then anybody, anytime they can hurry who comes your way is a prospect, which perhaps is one of the reasons why we are hemorrhaging in terms of business, and we are here on this forum of yours tonight.
Thank you, David. Where's Victor? Victor, I saw your hand was up.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Sorry, I've been on and off. I've had some network challenges, but what you're discussing is about having the profile of your customer or client. I believe so.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think it's for me, like in the service industry and looking at the services you're offering, you have to have a target audience, because I mean a target customers, they know their characteristics and their traits and their preferences. So having the profile of your target client or customer is one of the successes towards ensuring that you meet your sales or the objectives of your business. That is just my thought. Thank you.
Victor, tell us, what do you do?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Oh, my name is Victor Lumumba. I am in two industries. I'm in the hospitality and entertainment industry. But on the side, I'm also doing consultancies on management. So strategic planning, team building, just, things around that. So basically, that is what I run those two businesses.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. All of you are really correct. It's important to identify so that you know who to target. Another very important thing why we need to start with knowing the profile of our customer is the messaging, because that drives the message. Maybe I'll just give an example. You have a phone, a smartphone. You see, my daughter, who's 24, we can use the same phone, an iPhone or whatever it is, but our needs are totally different. So the message that, what kind of messaging do you think they'll drive? The messaging they'll drive to her and the messaging they'll drive to me are two totally different messages. Because like for her, what's important for them? For them, I actually have no idea. Someone help me out here. I know photos, selfies, quality of photos, very important. Just the fact that they have an iPhone, there's a sense of, it gives like your high class, things like that matter. Peer, how you look like to your peers. What else? But someone like me, if I can receive my mail, M-Pesa, make a call, receive a call, and have a couple of my apps, I'm okay. You see? So the messaging that they will give to my daughter and the messaging that they will send to me will be very different. So if you send one blanket message, can you imagine what if you send a blanket message to everybody? Who are you sending to? What are you telling? You'll miss out so much. But as you said, the thing of getting the customer and profiling them is that you send a targeted message. I don't know, I keep hearing a lot of people complaining that digital marketing doesn't work. Is it true for any of you? Do any of you use digital marketing to, to create awareness about your brand, your product, your services?
If I may make a comment, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, as you said, we are different age brackets from they call them the Z generation or Generation Z.
I think they're at X, Y axis. I don't even know where they are now.
We might have been that, but I think like for instance, for me, from where I'm sitting, my digital marketing is leveraging on the social media platforms. You know, probably using the space of emails to just know if you get a contract, you have a list of contracts, you sign it. I think the challenge now is that given the globalization of the society that we are living in and the way information moves so fast, the challenge is how relevant is your information to as many people as possible? Because also, as much as you're looking at your target customers, you also want to grow your brand and make it grow and have many people converted and become your followers. So the biggest challenge now is how do you have, for lack of a better word, one size fit all? You know, like for instance, a service into like what I'm doing, hospitality entertainment. People have different kinds of entertainment, and maybe you want to make sure that the service you're offering can fit, different age groups and different sets. So how do you find a way to ensure that you don't ike other people and please other people? For me, that is the biggest challenge from where I sit. Thank you.
So you're looking at generalization versus specialization.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that's a big one. I mean, that's a really big thing because you don't want to leave this one and you want to, like you're saying, you want to be able to talk to everyone, but so basically it's generalization versus specialization, which is better actually when you look at it, which is better, generalization versus specialization? You know, serve everyone, or do that one thing and do it so well until, Victor, you're known for that particular thing.
Let me that. Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry. You want to go first?
Yes, if you don't mind. So for me, generalization, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
For me, generalization, I think at the inception of a business, generalization might help you to get some brand visibility. But as you, for lack of a better, as you fine tune your business processes and the service, and you're making very specific, then now you try to make it specialized, that this is the kind of service that I'm offering or the kind of good that I'm making. And it's only this kind of people who use it or who consume it. So I think it depends at what stage the business is in. For me, that when you're starting, you want to get as big an audience as possible so that you just get the attention. They might not be consumers or users, but they have an interest, But then as you move and the business grows, then you're very sure of who you're targeting and what you're going to do specifically. Thank you.
Okay. Pascal?
Yeah, so I tend to agree with Victor. My business, as an example, is a B2B business. And it takes a really long time to close a deal. So at the onset, being extremely specialized means that I'm chasing a much smaller pool of clients, as opposed to if I was offering a few more services in a more general setting. So as he said, I think it could be valuable to adopt some generalization at the beginning until you're sort of known for something. And then specialize. And also, I think that gives you an opportunity to just hear what the market is trying to tell you, try out a few different things and see what works, and then specialize on that. Those are my sentiments.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. David,
yes,
are you unmuted?
Sorry, yeah, I'm unmuted. I wanted to say something. I wanted to say my challenge is digital marketing. So that's what I was hoping to hear more, how I can leverage the digital platform, social media, etc. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. So why I was asking this question, why I was starting that is when we're talking about the sales process, I realized the 2-3 answers I got is that for you, this process meant when someone is signing the contract. But for us, the sales process is starts right from identifying who your customer is, identifying who your target market is. So when we start like that, right from there, then that is what we call the sales process. And the sales process starts from there, right up to your engagements, right up to your nurturing, you know, the messaging. It goes up to until, actually we say closing the deal, but it's wrong, because you don't close, closing the deal is like that door is closed and you've moved on. Yet nowadays we are doing what we call relationship selling. We work or we look at relationship selling. You see, like I'll give a good example where I was saying like Rosalind's service is amazing, because that is a relationship. That's starting with me at where I am at and walking with me through the seasons of my life. You see, so that is relationship building. So when we like to say in 20X, we don't close the sale. That's when the relationship actually starts. When the dotted line has been signed, that's when the relationship actually starts. Okay. As well as asking about the sales process. Do you have a sales process? Do you have like, this is who we target, and then when we target them, this is where do we find them? Because you have to ask yourself, who am I serving? Where do I find them? What are they doing? What time can I get them? You know, you have to know all those answers about your customers. You know, because David, you're talking about the social media, the digital marketing. And yet we know, for example, I'll give you a good example. The people on Instagram and Facebook are two different ages completely. Actually, the average age of people on Facebook globally is about 55 years. Did you know those statistics?
No.
Yes. Statistically, the global average age of people on Facebook is 55 years. So if you want, so you see how already that already tells you who are there, and is your target market there, and what's the message you'll send there. Your IG is younger, TikTok is much younger yet, and it's for a different, also their objective is very different. You know, LinkedIn is different, Twitter, they all have got very different objectives. But that's just an example of what I'm saying. Like, you need to know where your customer, even if it's a digital market, where are they and what are they doing and what time are they there? You see, then you have to understand also their pain. What is it they're looking for? Some people don't even realize that they're in pain, that they are having an issue. You see, like David, like you who is in, and Stanley, who is in insurance. People just know car insurance. For the rest of the people who don't have car insurance, insurance is just something else for some old people. Rosalind.
Yes.
I'm sure even for you, I mean, there's some people just know housing is for wale wazee wa kuretire.
Yeah, a lot of and I think also the younger generation, from some feedback, is it really necessary to own a house?
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting a lot of that. So
yes,
how else can we serve them? But when we talk about when you're talking about pain points, you see the pain points is things like, for us, it's things like do I want to be harassed by a landlord for the rest of my life? Or am I better off getting into a mortgage 20 years? I mean, I am stretched, and then in my older age, I am free. You know, those things like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So that would be a conversation with the younger ones in terms of looking at things more broadly. Another pain point that is obvious that we talked about for diaspora is, do I want to ruin my relationship with my uncle who has gone to build me a shed when I expected a mansion?
Yes.
It's a trust issue. That's the pain point.
Yes.
Pain point. Another pain point is the lack of and I don't know about the other people, the other industries, but and yourself, Brenda, maybe you can speak to this. The issue that we don't have a lot of data, information across in Africa. That is becoming more. I see some players in our industry will give some form of analysis, the Knight Franks, the Haas consults.
Yeah.
But is that for a regular person who's just looking to invest? Is that for the high-end corporate pension funds, those kind of thing? So I would even say information is a pain point.
Yes, in fact, you're very right on that, Rosalina, because actually you'd be so surprised. There's a lot of information held within Kenya, and specifically within the government, but it's so all over and so scattered. If you went to Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the kind of, like when they do a census, have you realized the kind of questions they ask you? How many bedrooms is this? Do you have power? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at that data can give you so much information, like, the number of people who are living in a stone house, the number of people who are connected to the electricity grid, the number of people who, have running water. There's, in this area, there's so much, but putting it together and it's all over, but there's a lot of information. The government actually does a lot, but it's so all over, and you need to literally have worked in the government. I know this because my dad worked in the government, and he always used to go and do research and come back with so much information, and I'd wonder, where are these statistics you're getting from? And they have done properly surveys, go to the field, collect data, come back, analyze, put it in a report. But it is there. The problem is we just don't know. But I do get you. Like when you want to be an industry expert and you want to give with statistics, it can be very hectic. But information is there, and credible information. It is there. Yeah. Yeah. So now this is where as I was saying, back to what I was saying, the profitable sales process. So the profitable sales process starts with actually you identifying. Rosalind, you said, are you getting the right leads? In other words, how many frogs are you going to kiss to get the prince? You don't want to kiss so many frogs just to get that one prince, because that's wasting time, resources. So the important thing is first identifying who your target customer is. I like the way Mary suddenly said, wow, I need a nurse who has a smartphone, because her service is digital. So already it has already started. She knows already who to be able to go to directly to. Rosaline, you already said you've already started compartmentalizing the different services to the different age groups. Yes, you've already said there's these ones who are starting, there's the person who's in the middle with the young family, there's this one who's looking towards retirement. That already helps you so much in reducing your and focusing and going with that focus to this specific target market without having to be all over the place. I had asked a question. I know even David had asked about the digital marketing. Yes, digital marketing, that's where we've also seen a lot of issues where people just say, we can reach millions. But do you want first of all, millions of who? And then do you want millions of people? And then, yes, you can reach millions of people, but are they really your target market? How is it going to convert? How will they help you? Yes, you can reach the millions of people, but are they really your target market? And what message are you giving to all those millions? So that's why it's very important that we can be able to to identify who our customer is. And from there, we take them to the messaging and get them into a lead down the funnel. Okay. Mbogo, I can see you have a question. You have a question, but I'll not answer this, but what right now, because I'm seeing our time is up, is coming to a close. But what I can do, I know I'll be able to get your details, then we can have the conversation. All right. But before we come to a close, is there anyone else with something to say, a burning question, so that, before we come to a close? And before we go, We do have our 5-day sales challenge, whereby you will go in depth into where we are able to take you in depth. It's a 5-day learning program where you go in depth into how to develop your sales process. This was just a conversation to, to make you get your juices flowing, to start making you think. But we have an in-depth program for 5 days called the 5-day sales challenge, where you take you through how to build actually that sales process profitably, right from identifying the customer, who your customer is, and profiling them up to until, age, income, which bracket they are in, which income bracket they are in, which state, family, someone who's young is got a different mindset from someone who has a family. So we take you through that. And then we take you through how to message to them, how to give that compelling offer to them, because what they need is a compelling offer. If you talk to a young person about, a single person about family, they'll not understand. Where is Victor? Victor is in entertainment. Victor, the messaging for someone who has a family and the messaging for someone who is single are two very different messages. So we'll take you through how to give that compelling offer to your customer who you have already identified. And from there, how to build that messaging for them so that it can be, they can be able to understand and be able to attract. We'll also show you how to do lead generation, and not just lead generation of anyone, but qualified lead generation. You've identified, we'll show you how to do lead generation. How can you attract leads consistently throughout, how can you attract them? Because leads is the raw material of sales. Leads is where everything starts. So that's where we start by identifying then, how can you attract leads consistently throughout every day? We'll teach you how to do that. Finally, we'll also teach you how to start building the relationship, not closing the sale, but how to start building a relationship. Now, all this is on a virtual platform, and it's done at your pace. But what happens is that we give you homework, and the goodness is you use your product or service to do the assignments. That is the advantage. So it's a very hands-on, and you report back. We put you into a class of our WhatsApp group where you answer back and say, this is what I did, this is what I applied, and this is what I got back from it. And the advantage of that is that we are able to do peer learning from each other. And also, we are there to coach you and to mentor you as we go through this journey. So that is the 5-day class challenge. And this is only for 5,000 shillings. All this is only for 5,000 shillings. After that, we still coach you and we still work with you because we want you to succeed. If you don't succeed, we have not succeeded. So we need you to succeed. And I like what I've picked up over here. David is saying that the challenge he has is with digital marketing. All that is in the 5-day challenge. Rosalind, you're talking about sales team, okay? You talked about quality of leads. How do you get the quality of leads? How do you motivate your sales team to be able to look at, okay, as you said, I can get commission from this side and this side. Why do I just need to wait and slide through the easiest way? So I'm asking you if you could be able to join us. If you're interested in joining us from here, if you're interested in joining us, please type in the chat box and say yay, yay, yay. If you think this is a good class, the class would be able to be a benefit to you, please say yay, yay, yay. Oh, no one thinks it will be of benefit to them? Ah, I can see Steve there. Yeah, Steve, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Otherwise, that's basically it from me. Thank you. We've had such a lovely conversation. I just want to ask, is there anyone else? I can see John Were interested. Yeah, so we'll be reaching out to you. So that's Steve and John. Rosaline, I can see. There's someone who said, is that John? Yeah, John. Rosaline, yes. I can see you've said interested as well. Ah, great, great, great. Yeah, so before we close, is there anyone who would like to say something? I know this is not what was on the flyer, but yes. Is there anyone who would like to say something? A comment?
You can see David has commented. You need to send him an email with the details of the course.
I've seen that, yes. Yes, thank you, Esther. Steve, your hand is up. Or should I check your message? Steve, your hand is up. Can you type? Is the course customized? Hello? John, you're asking if the course customized. The course is customized, but what happens is because you are applying it to your particular business, yes, the course is customized, yes. Yes, Steve? You apply to your particular business. Victor will share you the details of the course. We'll share the details with you. Okay. Anyone else? Can you join with some team members? Yes, Rosalind, you can join with team members. In fact, I would really, really,
Hello.
Yes, let me finish, Rosalind, because I'd seen your question, Steve. Rosalind, yes, you can join with your team members. In fact, that is very beneficial because, why? Because you're working together and you're not just going with the information we're alone, but you're able to apply and someone is, and you know, they're able to apply and you're able to apply it together as a team. In fact, working as a team is very beneficial. Steve.
Yes, sorry, I had sent a question on the chat.
About the motel.
Yes, yes.
Yes. That was the one I said I'll come back to you because I was not able to understand it. And okay. I said, let me get back to you. I'll get back to you after. So that you can give me better details about it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah. Okay, people, thank you so much for this. It was insightful for me, especially because I learned a lot of where your pain points are. And from there now, I can be able to craft now different webinars, now targeting what you have said. Yes. So everyone, thank you so much. So have a good night and thank you for your time. And we appreciate it as 20X. Good night, everyone.